Welcome, everyone. Today, I'm excited to take you on a journey into the heart of Africa, to a time and place where legends were born. This is a story that will remind us all of the true power of inner strength and the magic of love. So, get comfortable and let's dive into the tale of Nyah, the princess with the unforgiving curse. Once upon a time, in a land where the golden savanna stretched as far as the eye could see and mountains rose up like sentinels, there was a small but prosperous kingdom called Amani. This kingdom was a place of peace and plenty, ruled by a wise and just king named Juma. The people of Amani adored their king, and the person who truly captured their hearts was his daughter, Princess Nyah. King Juma was not always a king. He was once a young prince, known for his bravery and wisdom. But his life changed the day he met the love of his life, Queen Amina. Amina was a healer from a distant village, known for her kindness and deep connection with nature. Together, they ruled Amani with compassion and strength. But tragedy struck when Queen Amina fell ill and passed away shortly after Nyah's birth. The kingdom mourned, and King Juma was left to raise their daughter alone, carrying the weight of his grief while trying to be both a king and a father. Princess Nyah was known throughout the land for her incredible beauty. Her skin was as smooth and rich as the finest cocoa, and her eyes sparkled with the light of 1,000 stars. But despite her outward beauty, Nyah carried a heavy burden of curse that had been placed upon her when she was just a child. This curse gave her a strong, overwhelming body odor that no amount of bathing or perfumes could ever mask. It was a scent so intense that even the bravest warriors would shy away. Nyah grew up surrounded by love, but her life took a difficult turn when the curse was placed upon her as a young child. She had many friends in the palace, children of the noble families, who played with her every day in the gardens. Among them were Yara, a girl known for her fierce loyalty, and Malik, a boy with a heart full of dreams. They were her closest companions, but as the curse began to take hold, they, like others, began to distance themselves. Nyah's scent became unbearable, and even her dearest friends found excuses to stay away. The laughter that once filled the palace gardens faded, leaving Nyah feeling more alone than ever. As Nyah grew older, the curse only became stronger, and the people around her began to change. Her childhood friends, who once played with her in the palace gardens, slowly distanced themselves, finding excuses not to be around her. The palace servants, who once greeted her with warm smiles, now looked away or hurried past her, unable to bear the smell. Even the animals in the royal stables would retreat when she approached. Despite her father's love and the efforts of countless healers from far and wide, the curse persisted. Word spread beyond the palace walls, and soon the entire kingdom knew of Nyah's condition. She became known as the Stinky Princess, a nickname that echoed in whispers through the halls of the palace and in the marketplaces of the kingdom. Suitors who once sought her hand in marriage for her beauty and royal status quickly turned away the moment they met her. Nyah's world became smaller and smaller until she found herself confined to her chambers, staring out the window at a world she could no longer be a part of. King Juma was deeply troubled by his daughter's suffering. He loved Nyah dearly and couldn't bear to see her so isolated and unhappy. He called upon the greatest healers, shamans, and mystics from across the land, offering them wealth beyond imagination if they could lift the curse, but none could find a cure. The king even traveled to distant lands in search of a solution, but every attempt ended in disappointment. Despite his best efforts, Nyah's curse remained unbroken and her isolation deepened. Desperate to lift the curse, King Juma summoned healers from every corner of the land. There was Elder Kojo, a wise man known for his knowledge of ancient herbs and potions. He believed that the key to breaking the curse lay in the rare black orchid that grew deep in the forbidden forest. Then there was Sefu, a shaman from the eastern tribes, who used chants and rituals to communicate with the spirits. He attempted to cleanse Nyah's spirit with sacred dances and offerings, but the curse remained. Lastly, there was Mesha, a young healer from the southern mountains, who believed that only a pure heart could break such a powerful curse. Despite their best efforts, none could find the cure, and each left the palace in defeat. Determined to find a cure for his daughter, King Juma set out on a perilous journey beyond the borders of Amani. He traveled through dense forests, across treacherous mountains, and into deserts where the sun burned the ground. Along the way, he encountered mystics and sages, each offering wisdom and advice. In a distant land, he met a seer who spoke of a powerful artifact, a crystal hidden deep within the earth that could cleanse even the darkest curse. But the journey to retrieve it would be dangerous, and King Juma was forced to return home, knowing he could not leave his kingdom vulnerable for too long. His journey, though unsuccessful in breaking the curse, taught him the importance of patience and hope. Alone in her chambers, Nyah often found herself lost in thought. She questioned why the curse had been placed upon her, and wondered if she would ever be free of it. She missed the days when she could run through the gardens with Yara and Malik, carefree and happy. But those days were gone, replaced by endless solitude. Nyah's heart ached with loneliness, and though she tried to remain strong, the weight of the curse often felt too heavy to bear. She would stand by the window, looking out at the stars, and whisper to the night, "Why me? What have I done to deserve this?" But the night offered no answers, only silence. During these dark times, the only comfort Nyah found was in the rare moments she spent with her father. King Juma would visit her in her chambers, bringing stories from his travels and tales of the love he shared with her mother. "Your mother was the light of my life," he would say, his voice heavy with emotion. "And you, Nyah, are the light of mine. No curse can ever take that away." These words gave Nyah strength, reminding her that she was not alone, even in her darkest hours. She found solace in the love her father had for her, a love that was unwavering, no matter how isolating her curse became. One day, the kingdom of Amani prepared for its annual Grand Harvest Festival, a time of great celebration. The air was filled with the sounds of drumming, laughter, and the mouth-watering aroma of roasted meats and fresh fruits. The festival was a time for joy and community, and Nyah longed to be a part of it. She hadn't attended the festival in years, but this year, something inside her stirred a desire to experience the joy of the festival once more. Determined to join the festivities, Nyah decided to disguise herself. She wrapped herself in a thick cloak, hoping it would mask her scent, and quietly slipped out of the palace. She made her way to the edge of the village square, where she watched from the shadows as the villagers danced and celebrated. For a brief moment, Nyah felt a glimmer of happiness as she watched the people twirl in their bright clothes, their faces lit up with joy. She remembered the days when she too had danced among them, free and carefree, but those days felt like a lifetime ago. But then, a sudden breeze picked up, and Nyah's scent began to spread through the crowd. The drumming stopped, and all eyes turned toward her. The villagers, who had been full of joy just moments before, now recoiled in disgust. Whispers spread like wildfire, and soon, someone shouted, "It's the stinky princess." The crowd began to part, people backing away from her as if she were a dangerous animal. Humiliated and heartbroken, Nyah fled from the square, her cloak billowing behind her as she ran into the forest, tears streaming down her face. Nyah ran deep into the forest, her vision blurred by tears. She didn't stop until she reached a secluded spot by a crystal-clear stream, hidden beneath the shade of ancient trees. There, she collapsed onto the ground, her sobs echoing through the forest. She cried out to the heavens, wondering why she had been cursed with such a terrible fate. As she wept, she heard a soft, gentle voice behind her. "Why do you cry, my dear?" the voice asked. Nyah turned to see an old woman standing beside her. The woman's face was lined with age, but her eyes were full of warmth and wisdom. She wore simple robes and carried a wooden staff. Despite her sorrow, Nyah found herself pouring out her heart to this stranger. She told the woman about the curse, the loneliness, and the pain it had caused her. The old woman listened patiently, nodding as Nyah spoke. When Nyah had finished, the old woman spoke. "My dear, your curse is not what it seems. It was not placed upon you to bring you harm, but to test your heart and spirit. This curse can only be broken by an act of true love and acceptance by someone who sees you for who you truly are, beyond the curse." Nyah listened intently, her heart heavy with the weight of the woman's words. But first, The woman continued, "You must learn to love and accept yourself. Only then will you be able to find the love you seek." And with the old woman's words echoing in her mind, Nyah returned to the palace. She decided to change the way she lived her life. Instead of hiding away in her chambers, Nyah began to engage with the villagers again. She showed kindness and compassion to everyone she met, even to those who had shunned her in the past. Slowly, the people of Amani began to see Nyah in a new light, not as the stinky princess, but as a kind and caring leader who genuinely loved her people. As Nyah continued to grow in confidence and self-acceptance, she began to see the beauty within herself that she had long forgotten. She realized that the curse, while painful, had given her the strength, empathy, and wisdom to be a better leader. And with this newfound strength, Nyah began to believe that maybe, just maybe, she could find someone who would love her for who she truly was. One day, while walking in the palace gardens, Nyah met a young traveler named Kofi. Kofi was different from anyone she had ever met. He was kind, gentle, and had a warmth about him that put Nyah at ease. Unlike others, Kofi wasn't repelled by Nyah's scent. Instead, he seemed drawn to her, intrigued by the sadness he saw in her eyes. The two quickly became friends, spending their days walking through the gardens and talking for hours. As the days turned into weeks, Nyah and Kofi grew closer. Kofi saw something in Nyah that no one else did. He saw her kindness, her strength, and the way she cared for her people despite the pain she carried. He admired the way she had transformed from a young girl burdened by a curse into a woman of grace and wisdom. And as they spent more time together, Kofi realized that he was falling in love with Nyah not in spite of her curse, but because of the person it had shaped her into. Kofi's feelings didn't go unnoticed. Nyah began to feel something she hadn't felt in a long time, a glimmer of hope. She found herself looking forward to their time together, her heart lightening with each passing day. She began to believe that maybe, just maybe, she could find the love she had always dreamed of. But with that hope came fear. What if Kofi was like all the others? What if he turned away from her once he truly understood the extent of her curse? One evening, as the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a golden light over the palace gardens, Kofi asked Nyah to walk with him to the stream, where they often sat together. The air was cool and still, and the only sound was the gentle flow of water. They sat in silence for a while, each lost in their own thoughts. Then, Kofi took a deep breath and turned to Nyah, his eyes filled with sincerity. "Nyah," Kofi began, his voice steady, but filled with emotion, "I've come to realize something over these past weeks. I've seen your kindness, your strength, and your beauty not just on the outside, but within. I've seen how much you care for your people, and how much you've grown despite the hardships you faced. And I want you to know, I love you. I love you for who you are, not in spite of your curse, but because of everything that makes you, you." Nyah's heart raced as she heard Kofi's words. She had dreamed of this moment for so long, but now that it was here, she didn't know how to respond. Tears welled up in her eyes, but this time, they were not tears of sadness, they were tears of joy. She looked into Kofi's eyes and saw the truth in them. He wasn't just saying the words, he meant them. He truly loved her, curse and all. As Kofi reached out and took Nyah's hands in his, something miraculous began to happen. A warm, golden light surrounded them, filling the air with a gentle warmth. Nyah felt the light envelop her, and as it did, she felt the weight of the curse lift from her shoulders. The overpowering scent that had plagued her for so long began to fade, replaced by the sweet fragrance of wildflowers. Nyah gasped as she realized what was happening. The curse was breaking. Nyah looked at Kofi, tears streaming down her face, and smiled a smile that was filled with relief, gratitude, and overwhelming love. Kofi smiled back, and without a word, he pulled her into a gentle embrace. As they stood there by the stream, bathed in the golden light of the setting sun, Nyah knew that her life had changed forever. She was free from the curse, free from the loneliness, and free to love and be loved in return. The news of Nyah's transformation spread quickly throughout the kingdom. The people of Amani rejoiced when they heard that the stinky princess was no more. They gathered in the village square to celebrate, and for the first time in years, Nyah joined them this time, not as a princess burdened by a curse, but as a woman who had overcome it. She danced with the villagers, her heart light and full of joy, as the drums beat out a rhythm of celebration. In the weeks that followed, Nyah and Kofi's bond only grew stronger. They spent their days together, planning for the future and dreaming of what their lives would be like. And soon, those dreams became a reality. Nyah and Kofi were married in a grand ceremony, attended by the entire kingdom. The palace was decorated with flowers and colorful fabrics, and the air was filled with the sound of joyous music. The people of Amani celebrated the union of their beloved princess and the kind-hearted traveler who had broken her curse. As they stood before their people, hand in hand, Nyah and Kofi knew that their love was something special, something that had been tested and proven strong. They had faced challenges that could have broken them, but instead, those challenges had brought them closer together. Their love was a testament to the power of acceptance, resilience, and the belief that true beauty lies within. Nyah and Kofi ruled the kingdom of Amani with wisdom and compassion, guiding their people through both good times and bad. They became known not just for their love, but for their commitment to their people and their unwavering belief in the power of kindness. Their story was passed down through generations, becoming a legend, a story that reminded all who heard it that true love is not about perfection, but about seeing and accepting each other for who we truly are. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the tale of Nyah and Kofi. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another magical tale. Until next time, remember true beauty comes from the heart.